everything would continue like normal. Nothing was too out of the ordinary, really. However, one day, Alistair would go to Cannibal Town just out of curiosity. You see, he hasn't been there in a while, and he wanted to see how his friend Rosie was doing. Rosie looked at Alistair and began to greet him, as Alistair greeted her, and they had a nice talk with each other, and they started to enjoy their food. You know what they eat. As they were talking, Rosie would say, "How's it going at the hotel?" "Well, but I'm getting lonely, you know? It's hard being by myself, but I don't like people anyway, so it's not like I have a choice." Rosie would say, "If you want someone, why don't you just get it?" "I'm not interested in people like that." Rosie would laugh and say, "You don't know the terms, do you?" Alistair would say, "Terms?" Alistair would then start to look at Rosie, confused. "What do you mean by terms?" "Oh, darling, you're asexual, but that doesn't mean you're aromantic. You clearly seem lonely. Just because you're ace doesn't mean you're aro-ace." Alistair would say, "I don't know what any of these words mean." "Well, I didn't know either, but as an ally, I find things interesting. Besides, I think the gay culture's come a long way and make my town pretty great. And I think you are asexual, which means you don't find any attraction to people in that way, but you're not aromantic. You want a romantic relationship." Alistair would say, "I don't..." He was confused by these terms. He was living back in the old ways, the 1930s. These terms were all so new to him. He didn't know what to say. As he said, "Maybe, I should go." Rosie would say, "We could experiment, go out on a date." He would say, "No thanks," as Alistair just walked away as he began to think, should he go on a date? Should he experiment? I mean, it wouldn't hurt him. No, he's Alistair. Even if he did have these feelings, he would never act on them. After all, he was the great radio demon. He didn't have time for little things like that. But as the days passed, Alistair felt lonelier and lonelier, and he felt like his life was over. He was on someone's leash, and he had nothing but his reputation, but his reputation could be ended if someone found out. So Alistair, seeing himself fall deeper in depression, decided to go for it. As he walked over to Rosie, Rosie would look at him and say, "There's my man. So, what did you decide?" Alistair would take a deep breath as he looked right at Rosie. "I decided to go on one date, but don't get your hopes up. This is just because of how long we've known each other." Rosie would say, Sure. I'll keep that in mind." As then, Alistair and Rosie went on a date. The date started out normal, with them both eating and having fun, laughing and enjoying things like normal. And Alistair, he was having a good time. Rosie started to hold his hand, and at first he didn't like it. At first he pulled away, but then he just kind of let her do it. And well, it felt nice. It felt nice to hold hands, and felt nice to be with someone. Rosie said, "See, I told you weren't aromantic." Alistair says, "That word's made up, but whatever." As then they both laughed. As then Rose and Alistair walked away. As then Alistair would lay back and think about that night. As Alistair couldn't stop thinking about it. He couldn't stop thinking about Rosie. He couldn't stop thinking about how they could be together. How they can be happy. But what was this feeling? Was this love? That's impossible. Alistair can't feel love. He can't feel what's supposed to happen. As Alistair was sitting on the couch, he looked down as Charlie walked up to him and said, "What's wrong?" Alistair then sighed as he looked at Charlie. "Listen, Charlie, I've been having some feelings for someone. I'm ace, apparently, but I'm not aromantic. I don't know what these words mean. I don't know what's going on. They make me feel happy, but I'm the powerful radio demon. I can't be with..." Charlie would hug him and say, "Oh, Al, you're the radio demon. You could do whatever you want. Go be with them." "So who are they?" "Is it a guy?" she said cheekily. No, it's not. Not that that would matter. Well, maybe it would. I don't know. This is all confusing. Anyway, it's Rosie. "Really? That's so sweet. You two should go on a date." Alistair would say, "Yeah, we should." As the days passed, Alistair would walk to Rosie. Rosie would look at Alistair and say, "Well, Alistair, How are you doing? I'm glad to see you. Tell me, did you make a decision? Alistair would pause for a moment as he would start to think, as he said, I did, and well, I decided I would date you. As then Rosie would grab his hand and start to sing, well, I'm glad I got my boy Al. Me and him together, enjoying the best feast, enjoying the best parts of life. As she would continue to sing more and more about Alistair and about their new relationship. As Alistair would sing too, as they would both sing and dance, and Alistair, well, he felt happy. He felt happy with Rosie. As Alistair and Rosie were getting, well, closer and closer, slowly Alistair began to feel sad because he had a secret he kept from her. A secret that someone else owned his soul. He would never tell anyone, especially another overlord, but this was Rosie, the woman he was dating. As a month passed, one day Alistair would be at the bar and make sure that everyone was asleep as he looked at Husk. I never thought I would ask you for advice, but I'm out of option. Husk said, you're asking me? You know I play it straight. And that might. Alistair says, yes, I'm aware of that. You will not be punished if you say something that irritates me while giving advice. So, Husk, what should I do? Should I tell her? Husk would say, holy crap, Al. You really thinking about telling her? I know, it's dumb, but Husk would then say it's not dumb. If you want to tell her, that means you care about her. Husk would then look at Alistair as he started to walk closer and closer to him. Then he looked right up to his face. Tell me, Alistair, how long have you known Rosie? Alistair would look at him and think for a moment as he would say, 40 years? 40 years! That's a long, long time. Tell me. In all this time, do you think that she would tell anyone? Alistair would think about it, and he would think about how she always kept his secrets, how they always had fun together, and how for a long time he's known her. As then, he would look straight at Husk and say, she wouldn't tell a soul. Then, tell her, you big dummy. As then, the radio demon would look right at Husk and slowly walk up to him, as Husk would say, I'm sorry I called you a dummy, But then, Alistair would pat him on the back and said, well done, chap, thank you. As then he walked off to go find Rosie. As Rosie was there, Rosie was waiting for something. She felt that Alistair wasn't himself and that he was hiding something, but she hoped he would tell her in time. But as she waited, the days grew old, and she began to grow impatient until one day Alistair would walk to her. Hey, Rosie, I have something to tell you. She would get up and say, what is it, Al? What have you been hiding from me? I could tell there's something. Do you not trust me? I would say, I didn't. I'll be honest, but now I do. And I see if I want to be with you, I have to trust you. There's someone else who owns my soul. Rosie would look shocked. Al wasn't known as the most powerful overlord of all time, but he was known as at least in the top 10. So for someone to own his soul, they must be very strong. Rosie would say, who is it? He would look at her and say, it's Lilith. Lilith owns my soul. And she put me down to spy on Charlie. Make sure she's safe, but also make sure she doesn't do too well. And she's been doing too well recently. However, I made a deal with her to get my soul back. If she can just help me. She won't kill anyone though, and I don't own her soul. With you and... no, I can't use you to get my freedom. It's not right. As Al was walking away, Rosie would hug him and kiss him. I'll help you, doll baby. As they both smiled and held hands. As Rosie and Alistair were together, they began to work together about getting Alistair's soul back. But would they ever do it? Could they ever achieve this? Well, that would be a tale for another day. And that is where we're going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments below. I really enjoyed this ship, but I don't know how well this video is going to do, because usually when I do a has-been video, it's not about Charlie or crossover, it doesn't do too well. So I'm hoping this does well. If not, I'm not going to make another one of these videos for the month, because I have to make like a monthly quota to even get paid on YouTube, you know. It is what it is, but whoever you are, and I hope you are enjoying this video, and I hope your day is going well, because my day is going well too. And I'm working on a very special Fallout video, but I don't know how well it'll be received, because, well, I play not a too good person in it. but I do not condone their actions. And they're an historical figure. It's not like Stalin or, any of those guys, but they're pretty bad. But I'll have a disclaimer in the video. Hopefully that won't get things off too bad. The only reason I'm worried is because some of my friends might see it and they might get the wrong idea. I have a disclaimer in the beginning. Hopefully it'll be fine. Anyway, love you all. Hope you're having an amazing day. Hope your life is going amazing. And before I go, because I'm really, really curious, who's your favorite YouTuber? Because mine would have to be Mr. Beast. I love Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast and SML. Some people don't like the new SML stuff, but I think they're doing pretty good. I kind of like the new SML stuff. And I just love Cody with his gay jokes. I don't know. Maybe because it's my inner queer inside of me. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, who's your favorite YouTuber? Mine would probably have to be Mr. Beast. Even though SML makes me laugh more, Mr. Beast has done more good, and his videos are just really top quality and stuff. So yeah, there's that. But there's also a lot of good contributors, a lot of classics like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Dan DDM, the people who made up my childhood. Also, Annoying Orange really made up my childhood. I haven't watched him. Do you guys still watch Annoying Orange? Is that still like a thing? I'm gonna look him up after the end of this video. I might really do that. But yeah. I had a really good time with this ship because I like shipping people because that's my thing. I ship. All right, I stretched it out for 11 minutes. What are you going to do? Love you all. Peace out.